nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on bling and she ice. Freeze, photo, please.
You ready? So after breaking an axle shaft in our rear axle in Moab and hearing a lot of issues from the 4th gen community about having the rear diff explode or break, we started looking at options for our rear axle and what we're gonna put in, and ended up going with the Trail Gear Fab 9-inch. So this housing is basically a replacement for the Ford 9-inch Fab housing, 3.5-inch tube diameter, 3/8-inch walls, so it's really thick, very beefy. And inside there, you end up using chromoly axle shafts, Dana 60 hubs, so really every component in there is very strong, and it should hold up, especially to the power that we're able to get out of this engine. This is the rear roller kit from them, so it comes with everything you need to actually have a rolling axle with tires bolted on. What it doesn't have that we're about to work on is 4-link, coil buckets, all that sort of thing. Otherwise, in this kit, which costs a hair over $3,000 retail, you end up getting brakes, your hubs, seals, bearings, everything you need. So once you're able to put it all together, it goes together pretty simple. There's pretty minimal work actually required, and you get a really strong axle out of it. So although this is a rear roller kit, to actually be able to drive, we needed a few more components, and that was basically axle shafts, which we ended up ordering to try and match our front end length with the long travel, and also these drive flanges here. So these basically go in the end right here of your unit hub and attach the axle shaft to the actual hub so that it all spins together there. We also picked up the truss that they make specifically for this axle. That way, not only do we brace it, but we also get a perfect easy platform for the 4-link upper links in the process. To power this axle, we're excited to announce that we're joining Team Yukon, and they provided us with Ford 9-inch dropout, ring and pinion, and the master install kit that we'll be installing in here. We've also been working closely with them to get the components for the front end and re-gear that as well, and make sure to really strengthen that diff. This is Yukon's steel Ford 9-inch dropout that'll directly bolt up to that axle. They also offer this in aluminum, but we went with the steel for a little bit added strength. For the ring and pinion, we're going with 486s, and on the front diff, we're getting 488s. The Ford to Toyota doesn't perfectly match, but they are close enough, only being that 0.2 off, that we're not going to have any issues, especially on the dirt. So for the rear diff, we're installing a spool. This is also from Yukon. And on the front diff, being that Yukon doesn't have an air locker option, we're going to be getting an ARB air locker, but powering it with a Yukon air compressor. We really want to give a big thanks again to Yukon for coming on and being a part of our team. We're excited to get these parts installed and get us across the finish line.
There it is.
It doesn't move.
Now we gotta weld that other one up so it's a roller and we can roll it under with a tire zone.
Yeah, right. We'll see. We'll get there.
It just needs some tacks and some
Ready?
cuts.
Keep going.
Nice job, Jen.
Alright.
Uh-oh.
Let me help you line it up, baby.
I can't find it.
You need a light? It's out. Here.
Oh, I'm in. Oh yeah, I'm in. Alright, so do that again. And it should be the same. Fine.
Should be the same, yeah.
Check.
You want to swap rolls? Because we're familiar with?
Yeah, I can't do this time. I gotta do this one. I don't know what I'm doing on this side of things. And on this side we've got 1 and 5/16. And we'll remeasure this one, right?
Yeah. Should be the same.
What did I say it was?
3 and 5/16. What do you say this was? 1 and 5/16?
Hold on, we'll come back to that.
So what is it like having a boyfriend that's obsessed with race cars?
If it's all the way
a little loud.
So we're about to do something incredibly stupid. But we need to, because
Just don't really.
we have to. for background, this is what the hub on most Toyota 6x5.5 wheels look. And this is what our Black Rhino wheels look like. So we're going to make these look like that.
As you can.
Alright,
Some people tell you to bring your wheels to a machine shop to get them bored out. Joke's on them, we are a machine shop.
Alright,
It's not the right machine.
Okay, so what we found going with the new rear axle is that the hub is bigger than what the hub on our wheels is. So we have to basically cut it out. So our dumb plan is we have a small template here to center it. We're going to try and Waterjet and basically cut that hole bigger. We might make it work, we might ruin a wheel. Find out.
But this is also
our messed up wheel
that fell off the truck in Moab, so the lugs are a little messed up, the lug holes. So this is our tester.
Is that the highest the head goes?
Center of our wheel. And we have to disassemble the Waterjet to get the wheel in there. But now we have a wheel that is technically set up like a normal Toyota wheel is.
So wrapping up the day here, we got the axle mostly mocked up. It's cut down to the correct length. Got the hubs in. Our WMS to WMS ended up being about 69 1/4. It's about 5 inches wider than stock. So tomorrow's a big day. Gonna get a bunch of things welded on the truss, link brackets and whatnot. Hopefully have it cycling. We're getting our link brackets welded up and finished up here. I just want to talk about them real quick because I'm very proud of them. For example, this one is our upper link frame mount. So this will weld onto the frame there. The link goes there. Everything puzzles together and then we end up with a nice strong bracket like this. This is all either 190 or 250, so hopefully that's strong enough, but I guess we'll put it to the test and find out if we need to reinforce it or not.
We're getting our control arms built from Summit Machine. We got our flex joints here installed for the lower control arms, just getting them all tacked together. We should be all good to go soon.
So this is all welded up now. Got the bearing pockets welded on, outside of the axle. Upper link bracket is fully welded. Our lower link brackets are welded on both sides. So yeah, the axle is pretty much fully welded. We still need to cut a good bit of this out to make our coil buckets for our coils to land. We have to do our bump perches on here. And then we also need to do our shock tabs. And I am drilling a hole right here to do a 2 1/4 inch hole, this hole saw, to install this beautiful fill plug from Spider Tracks. So this is kind of an inspection port and a fill plug, so you can kind of see your gears and have a nice window to fill and inspect. So, yep, I'm going to put that on there.
got all these anodized parts, I love it.
That is.
Sorry, guys,
Look, he's like a cat. Yeah. With his tail. Yeah.
Today was a really big day. We finished a lot of things and we're getting this axle really close. It's rolling now. It's pretty much ready to go. Cut the truss out. We got some coil perches in. Got some shock mounts. Got all the links bolted up, and we made sure that we're kind of sitting where we are. We just need to pretty much build bump pads, and that about wraps it up for this axle. So it's a few more things and then we'll be on to the front.
So the whole rear axle is welded up and ready to get painted. The only thing we're waiting on is the bolts that we were welding into here for our coil perches that will actually be used as a spring retainer. We hope to get longer coils before hammers, but if not, we're just going to strap it at our full droop on the coil and then run those coil retainers. But yeah, we got our bump perches. These are what our bumps are going to strike on. These are our lower link mounts. We're actually going to run another plate in the bottom there just to strengthen those up. Shock mounts, the hubs, upper link mount here on our not much of a truss that's left, and then another coil perch, bump pad, link mount, shock mount. So looks great. And then we also got in our Spider Tracks filler bung, so looks good.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinking, she ice. Freeze, photo, please, no photos. G, no, please, no photos. Hit the door and the dumb and just whole team here might need some. Still young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If it down in my management, I'm just warming up a way till I old producer saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town we
So I'm ripping off every single sticker we put on over the summer because we are prepping the car to get wrapped out in California. We are working with Beyond Wraps, and we're going to do our original render idea with slightly different colors and kind of spice it up a little bit. It's going to be sweet, but this is not sweet.
no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away. I put game on layaway. I got paid to play today. I get paid to stay away. I get paid on rainy days. I might make it rain today. I got paid off pain today. Thought it'd take the pain away. In my own lane, finger roll. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale. Heard it's on the market for the low. Who the realest, we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up. Ooh, now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food. Now you're all on live acting surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out the way, it's been a day, now you're old news. Now you got the pen and pad, you're trying to take my moves. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me.
Or would we tie into this hard lining?
I got wifey on blinging, she freeze, photo, please, no photos. G's, no, please, no photos. Nowadays, nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's ice. I got wifey on blinging, she freeze, photo, please, no photos. G's.
One of the more exciting parts going on the car this year is long travel. So we're excited to announce that we are partnering with Yoda Mafia to get Total Chaos 3.5-inch long travel on the front end. There are a few issues sourcing the parts from Total Chaos to get it in time for race day. So Breland at Yoda Mafia worked really hard and was able to get us this kit. It's the normal 3.5 kit that we were planning to run, except it is a little bit used. So he got us new bushings, new uniballs and everything. It's just the arms have a little bit of scratches, but they're gonna look like that anyways, so we are good to go. Alright, now the fun part, we gotta get this installed. So I'm working on getting the studs swapped out. We figured we would basically change the front so that they match the rear. So these are studs off of, I think, an 04 Mustang. Basically they're half 20 and like an inch and a half longer than the stock ones. So we're gonna switch to open end lugs, quite a bit more thread engagement, and now we have matching front and rear, so that's good.
So I'm trying to make a double shear mount for our Heim steering using cardboard.
How's my hair look? So I am putting in our 200 series Land Cruiser steering rack. We've run into a little bit of issues making this fit, being that everyone that has done this before us supposedly has VVTi on their 2UZ, and the 2UZ without VVTi is a little bit thicker on the undercarriage. So we've basically shaved the bottom of our offset spacers off so the rack sits as low as possible, and it looks like we're gonna have to make some spacers for our motor mounts to lift the motor up about a ½ inch, and then everything should fit. But right now I'm trying to see how close we are without doing any of that, and we're actually miraculously close. But our steering rack rides on our motor when it's bolted, so we're definitely going to pick the motor up a little bit. Outside of that, it should work pretty good. It looks like the holes are lining up on our bolts with our offset spacers, so home stretch. Alright, so we finished up our tie rod setup. This is the inner from the 200 series Land Cruiser rack, and then we made this outer out of DOM. So we do need another jam nut. So we have a jam nut. We use the jam nut as our weld bung on the DOM, and then this is a Heim from Rough Stuff that we are going to do a double shear mount on our spindle. But as you can see, it's a whole lot beefier than the stock tie rod. So we should have a lot less issues with this. We've bent one of these already out wheeling in Moab, but this is almost, I don't know, I'd say over twice the diameter on this factory inner from the 200 series, and then our outer is DOM. I forget what size tube this was, but the inner diameter of this tube is like 1.5 inches or something, and it's 120 wall DOM. So for steering, this should be really, really strong. So we're excited to get this all buttoned up with our Total Chaos kit and see how it works out.
We just got our Yukon gears set up onto our spool here in our third member. Just got the black RTV put onto the housing, and we're about to drop the third member in.
Do I have to turn this little piece off?
You might have to.
I don't know if you want this on video.
What do you know about those recalled jack stands?
They're safe to lay under, right? Speaking of. So we're working on the Total Chaos long travel kit right now. We have the arms bolted in. This process is super easy. You basically just take your old stuff off and then reinstall these the same way you took everything else out. It went super easy for us because we've had all this apart recently. So the upper, you just pull your upper bolt out, and when you're putting it back in, there's these 4 washers that come with the upper that go on the outsides of the bushings. You just have to make sure you get those in so that the arm doesn't have any play and it's nice and tight. The lower is also really easy, especially because we have these 333 fabrication cam eliminator kits. These are really nice, and you don't have to deal with any like seized cams or anything like that once you've already put these in. So that was super easy for us to do. Now we have to get our spindle put in, and then the coilover and our CV axles, and we should be good to go. Oh.
I'm setting up limit straps. Hello, welcome to Limit Straps with Alex. I am setting up our 12-inch limit straps for our front suspension.
But, quite.
I was kind of staring at that one too.
All good.
Oh, that's service.
Do you want a real?
No, it's a security ride. Alright, so the long travel is completely installed. We had a few issues we ran into with some of our custom parts that we made. Like we had to clearance our spindle gussets for our double shear Heim steering a little bit for our brake rotors, but nothing a little grinder couldn't fix. We got our limit straps in. Cameron and I knocked out brake line mounts because the old ones were no longer on here. And then we also got our resi mounted and coilovers in. We ended up having to go with the 8-inch coilover. We couldn't get the 10s to squeeze in, so maybe down the road we'll get something a little longer, but for now the 8-inch will work fine. The down travel that the 8-inch is pulling is actually around the same as what our Heim steering is able to pull with these misalignments that we got. So not ideal by any means, but we're gonna have nice strong steering, and we know these coilovers work really well with this setup, so we'll be good to go. But yeah, Total Chaos stuff is awesome. Huge shout out to Yoda Mafia and Breland for helping us out and making all this possible for us. It should make a huge difference at King of the Hammers.
That's it. Optima provided us with their Yellow Top 27F battery. So besides being sealed, because it's an AGM, we also have a lot of power, where we were lacking with the old battery. Sometimes during winching you can see some lights die and whatnot, so excited to have all this extra power in here. Additionally, they gave us their digital battery charger, so when it's sitting here not being raced, we can keep this battery healthy and fully charged.
We're like 60. There it is.
That money clip us now, that new now looks like. I'm transforming now, these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish frames on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers. Pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. I press the button and the doors go off like, oh. That money clip us now, that new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip, neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib, neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's me, neighborhood okay, thought I'd never make it like no way, I'm the real deal, no role play, my days off, that's no days, no I hustle hard, young rose, E be the shooter, that's cold case, bills on the deals, that's brose, got no pay, yo, no say, okay, this the news, tell them read it, been the one since the fetus, don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic, that's a no, spend the dough for no reason, got a ball head, Mr. Cleaner, heard the big bags overseas, then we gon' go, whoa, I